ending, in air quotes, they're ending the BTFP is because it looks bad politically. That's all. They are not ending the liquidity injections into the market. That's what they want you to think, but it's not true. So the people who are saying, oh, this is going to cause another liquidity crisis, it's not. Even if it does, I mean, obviously when I say it's not, anything can happen. I don't know everything. I don't know the future. Of course it can. But the fucking microsecond that there's any banking stress, they're going to come up with a new scheme. This is how it works. BTFP, it's designed to sound confusing. Oh, the Bank Term Funding Program. Oh, okay, what's that? Oh, it's some central banking terminology and it's some facility emerging. No, it's printing money. It's always printing money. They might not be doing direct quantitative easing. They might not be handing out stimmy directly to people, but it's all printing. It's all fucking liquidity injection. It's all a way of putting more money in. So, if it's positive for liquidity, then just consider it as printing. If it makes it easier. It's not actually printing, because you'll have some fucking nerd who'll come in and go, yeah, well, they're not really printing money. Yeah, we fucking know that, but they're adding liquidity. It's the same thing. They're being accommodative. It's dovish. Right? Hawkish is where you're reducing liquidity. Dovish is where you're increasing liquidity. You're easing financial conditions. You're making it easier to borrow. You're making it cheaper to borrow. Any of these mechanisms by which they do it are all the same end result. So, as well as saying we're closing the BTFP, when you actually read, if anyone would ever fucking read, advances can be requested under the program until March 2024. Right? So, until March 11th, you can request an advance. Okay, what does that mean? You have 12 months. You have a year. So, if any of them want to, they can still use this facility until March 11th, and the day they use it, the day their agreement goes through, they have 12 months. So, worst case scenario for any of the banks that are actually struggling is they're fucked in March 2025. So set your calendars. Any of the banks that are genuinely in trouble or in need of liquidity can use this program until March 11th. They're being given plenty of time to access this. And then they have 12 months of runway. So in short, it is a fucking non-event, nothing burger. It is not going to crash the financial system. They're doing it so they can say the PTFP is ending. It was an excellent resounding success. Remember all that scariness when the banks were about to collapse? We saved it, pat ourselves on the back. Great job. Well done. So what comes next? Well, now they're going to try and push people to use the discount window. Oh, what's the discount window? It's another fucking term for for cheap money, for money printing, for borrowing, for more of the same shit that got us into this mess. You got quantitative easing, the Bank Term Funding Program. You've got discount windows. You've got yield curve control. You've got all these fucking fancy terms for the same thing. So, I think there's one here about the discount window. Yeah, so there's a tweet here about US bank regulators are preparing to introduce a plan to require banks tap the Fed's discount window at least once a year to reduce the stigma of using the facility. Think about it. The reason there's a stigma behind these facilities is because it's destroying the financial system by just piling more and more debt or cheap money or allowing the shit show of rampant printing to go on, which is why Bitcoin exists, right? And the reason there's a stigma is because it shouldn't exist. It's not capitalism. This isn't capitalism. This is like fucking socialism, but for the rich. Not for the poor, of course. It's only for the banks. And we saw this in '08, right? The banks and the financial institutions do all the fraud, do all the fucking risky lending, and then when it all blows up, they get bailed out. So it's that fucking communism meme of the what is it, Bugs Bunny? It's like my profits, right, whenever they make money, and then our losses whenever they lose money. So they take all the profits and then they socialize the losses. Same shit. So that's why there's a fucking stigma. There should be. It's dumb. But now they're preparing to push more banks to use it. Why is that? Because they're ending the BTFP. And by ending the BTFP, they're now saying, banks, don't worry, you can still avail of the discount window. But the discount window has a bad rap. So they're going to make banks use it so that it doesn't seem as bad. Oh, look, they're all using it. JP Morgan uses it. Citibank uses it. Bank of America uses it. I don't know, whatever. Fucking. So that's going to be another way of doing it. What is the discount window? It's just a way of providing short-term liquidity to banks. So if a bank is in trouble, they can access money through the discount window, and it's usually short-term. It's like overnight or very, very short-term. And the reason it has a stigma is because if you use the discount window, it's like saying, we're fucked. We need money like right now. It's not a good sign. Right? But they're now enforcing this, or they're going to enforce this, to make them all use it. So that it kind of doesn't look like only banks that are struggling uses it. It's that all banks use it. And so in the same sense, it's the same shit, right? It's stuff that you or I can't access that the big banks and even the small banks and the mid banks can. And overall, there's a few thoughts I have on this. Like, one, people think this is somehow bad for Bitcoin. It's hilarious. Like, even Arthur Hayes, as much as I like him, thinks that this is going to cause a panic that crashes Bitcoin to 30k and then they step in and it has to go up. If Bitcoin goes to 30k, it's not because of the fucking BTFP ending. It's because it was going to go there anyway. Just like the Sell the News ETF, it wasn't grayscale because there's been net inflows. So of all the ETFs, the 9 of them, they all have bought massive amounts of Bitcoin, and then the 10th, grayscale, have sold a lot of Bitcoin. But on balance, there's a net inflow. Tell me how, when there's more buying than selling from the ETF issuers, there's more of accumulation than there is of distribution. How does that prove that it was all the big bad grayscale? It wasn't. It wasn't grayscale. There was selling anyway. Guess what? It was just Sell the News. Bitcoin went up 100%. Bitcoin went up 100% in the lead up to the ETF. And so traders who trade took profit. Simple. It's really that simple. Traders took profit. And because of that, people don't want to say that because it doesn't sound sexy. It doesn't write headlines. If you wrote a headline on a news article saying, traders took profit and that's why we're down from 49k to 40k, nobody would click that. But if you have this thread on Twitter about, I've been researching and here's the thread about how much grayscale are dumping and it's 365 million today and yesterday it was 242. Yeah, cool. That's not fucking it. It's just supply and demand. I mean, when you go like that, I mean, what is it? Is it illegal for people who got long at 25 to take profit up here? People are so fucking, which is a good sentiment gauge for you, by the way. People are so touchy about downside. They don't need reasons for upside, right? Whenever price is going up, it's always because Bitcoin's the greatest thing ever. Bitcoin has to go up. Bitcoin should be $1 million, right? And yes, over time, I think it goes there too. I fucking love Bitcoin. Massive maxi. Think it's inevitable. 250,000, 500,000, whatever. But I'm also not deluded. I'm a trader. It's like, you can see this. It's the same as any coin. If you go outside of Bitcoin, it's even more aggressive, right? If you go to Solana, whenever Solana was going up and pumping and it was 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, it was because Solana is it's better than Ethereum. That's what people are saying. They're doing podcasts saying, look how much better than Ethereum Solana is. It's faster, it's cheaper. There's more stuff built on it, there's more people. Fuck Ethereum. Ethereum's slow. Ethereum's bullshit. But then 4 weeks before that, when it was going down, it was Solana's dead. Solana's fucking shit. But don't worry, it's all because big bad FTX and the FTX estate and they're going to sell and Sam scammed us all and it's all Sam's fault and it's all manipulation. It's all bad. Do you understand the dislocation? Reasons don't matter. So much of what you do. This goes back to my daily lesson from last night. You should go and listen to it if you haven't already. The reasons. If you want reasons, go on Twitter. You'll find a million reasons. You'll find all the fucking reasons you want. You'll find so many reasons that it's just going to confuse you. But if you just build an objective framework of your own, based on something as simple as market structure and very basic understanding of supply and demand, right? This was when BlackRock announced. So we've known since June, when it was at 25, 26, 27, that BlackRock were in the game. So people at that point were like, okay, BlackRock don't enter a race, they're not going to win. So from that point, 25 to 30, back to 25, to 28, to 25, to 27, to 28, to 29, to 30. All of this, everyone buying here, all of that buying was with the knowledge that ETFs were coming and that BlackRock were going to win. So you can safely say everyone who could have bought here, bought here. Any smart money were buying here because they believed ETF was coming. Why would they not take profit? It's a trade. So did I need to go on Twitter and read some fucking 50 tweet thread to figure that out? Did I need to watch a YouTube video? No. But if you do go on Twitter, and especially if you're like newer and less experienced, it's super easy to get confused because you just see all this nonsense where people want to tell you the whole financial media, right? Like if you even read, if you read any, I don't know, like I don't recommend many books for this reason, because books about technical analysis and all that, they're fucking nonsense. You learn more just from the basic lessons that I have there, the more advanced lessons that are there, which are short, to the point, and then get on